1942 to October 9, 1943, was a conflict between the armed forces of Nazi Germany, Romania, and Slovakia against the USSR during the Great Patriotic War for control over the Caucasus and its resource base. It is divided into two phases: the offensive of German and Romanian troops, July 25 to December 31, 1942, and the counteroffensive of Soviet troops, January 1 to October 9, 1943. In the autumn of 1942, the German-Romanian forces occupied most of Kuban and the North Caucasus, but after the defeat at Stalingrad in February 1943, they were forced to retreat due to the threat of encirclement. In 1943, the Soviet command was unable to encircle the German-Romanian forces in Kuban or deliver a decisive defeat to them. The armored units of the Wehrmacht, 1st Panzer Army, were withdrawn from Kuban to Ukraine in January 1943, and the infantry, 17th Army, were evacuated from the Taman Peninsula to Crimea on October 9 of that same year. By June 1942, the Soviet front in the southern sector had been weakened due to the failure of the spring offensive near Kharkov. The German command did not fail to take advantage of this circumstance. On June 28, the 4th Tank Army of the Wehrmacht, commanded by Echagoth, broke through the front between Kursk and Kharkov and rushed towards the Don. See the map. June-November 1942. On July 3, Voronezh was partially occupied, and the troops of S.K. Timoshenko, defending the direction towards Rostov, found themselves surrounded from the north. The Red Army lost more than 200,000 men as prisoners at this section. The 4th Tank Army advanced rapidly to the south between the Donets and the Don, having fought its way approximately 200 kilometers in 10 days. On July 23, Rostov-on-Don fell. The route to the Caucasus was opened. The breakthrough of the Soviet front near Kharkov and the subsequent capture of Rostov-on-Don opened up not only a real prospect for Hitler to reach the Caucasus for Baku oil, but also the opportunity to capture Stalingrad, a crucial transport hub and a major center of military industry. In German sources, this offensive is referred to as the Blue Plan, German, Fall Blau. Baku and the North Caucasus were the main sources of oil for the entire economy of the USSR. After the loss of Ukraine, the significance of the Caucasus and Kuban as a source of grain sharply increased. Here, too, were reserves of strategic raw materials, such as the Turnyaus deposit of tungsten molybdenum ore. The loss of the Caucasus could have a noticeable impact on the overall course of the war against the USSR, which is why Hitler chose this direction as the main one. The army group created to advance into the Caucasus was designated A. The task of Group A included to encircle and destroy the southern front troops south and southeast of Rostov-on-Don, who had retreated beyond the Don River, and to seize the North Caucasus. Then it was planned to encircle the Greater Caucasus with one group from the west, capturing Novorossiysk and Tuapse, and with another group from the east, taking control of the oil-producing regions of Grozny and Baku. Simultaneously with the flanking maneuver, it was planned to overcome the watershed ridge in its central part through the passes and enter Georgia. After the anticipated victory at Stalingrad, the preparation of a foothold for combat operations against Great Britain in the Middle East. The German command took into account that many Tarak Cossacks, the Cossack population of Kuban, and the mountain population of the North Caucasus were hostile to Soviet power. In Chechnya, anti-Soviet uprisings began as early as February 1940 under the leadership of Hassan Israilov and intensified after the defeats of the Red Army in 1941 to 1942. Subsequently, the Germans' assumptions were confirmed. Several Cossack and mountain formations were formed in the Caucasus, fighting on the side of the Germans. A number of sources question the reliability of the official figures related to anti-Soviet activities in the Caucasus and their justification, as they differ in different documents from different organizations. Moreover, these documents indicate a tendency to manipulate the figures to fit pre-planned outcomes. The actual number of Israilov's gang, including NKVD agents embedded within it, never exceeded 14 people. According to a number of historians, the situation with the broad anti-Soviet movement in Chekhyno-Ingushetia was merely a grand play by the Soviet state security organs. The fact that the leaders of the local special services, who allegedly supported the bandits and were sharply criticized by the Republican Party organs for inaction, received thanks, decorations, and ranks from the central leadership also supports this explanation. The People's Commissar of the NKVD of the Chekhyno-Ingushetia ASSR, Sultan al-Bogachev, received a combat order, an extraordinary rank, and was transferred to work in Moscow in 1943, all within a little over a year. All those dissatisfied with Soviet power who came into contact with Izrailov sooner or later fell into the hands of the NKVD. Kasuka Magomedov, who joined Izrailov's group, soon noticed this pattern. After the liquidation of another group of German paratroopers, he secretly left the gang and acted independently until his death in 1976.